Good evening. My name is Muhammad Kondi. So this is our group video presentation for concurrent programming for group assignment. So my group, we have 4 members, which is me, Muhammad Kondi, matric number 17121530, Enrico Julian 17165215, Siti Nur Farhanis binti Mustaqim 077152, and lastly Nur Syafiqah binti Ahmad Shaudi 171631 and 28.
Hello Doctor, I'm Enrico. So to explain how our system works is when we run the main class, it should render our start menu GUI. So we click start to render out our next GUI, which is the setup GUI, to pass in our 3 integers of n, t, and m. So in this class, we check the condition so that it suits the requirement that you have given us. For example, like the coordinates should not be less than 1, and the number of threads should not exceed the number of coordinates, and so on and so forth. So if the condition is fulfilled, so when we press OK, it should proceed to the next GUI, to render the next GUI, which is showing the result of all the pairing and the coordinates that we have made. So let's do that. Yeah, so what happened here is when we initiate the class, it calls this method start game. So first it will create the coordinate as the amount of time that we have specified n times. So we use a double variable to make the coordinate of x and y, and then we use a while loop to check so that x and y is not duplicated, and store it in our coordinates class. And then next we display the coordinate in this method, as we can see here at this part. And after that, in the start game method, this is where we start the thread, so that's why we specify the current time, so that we can keep so that in the task, when the task is executing the pairing, it can keep checking how many amount of time have passed for this specific thread, to check whether it has exceeded the time limit that we have given. So for executing the task, we use executor service to specify the pool size or the amount of thread that is available to be executed. So we loop the task the amount of t times, which is the how many threads that we have specified to make. So in the task class, in the run method, we have while loop, so that the thread can attempt 20 times. If it still fails to pair, and it can still try to attempt if there's still there's still more time to do so, and if the finish status is still false, which means the task has not finished pairing as well. So it will call this method where the pairing starts. So first we lock the other threads, so that the threads that's going on right now can proceed to pair to their edges. So first we take the coordinates. We take 2 coordinates from our coordinate class, coordinate 1 and 2, and then check to not have any duplication of 1 and 2. And after that, we also check so that the edges, we put the edges that we have made into a temp variable, and then check whether this temp variable have or contain the same coordinates 1 and 2 as the previous edges that have been made. So if that's have been passed, then we finally unlock the threads, and then the finish status is true, so that the task has finished executing pairing the edges. And then after that, it proceeds to shut down the executor. But while there's still tasks that's not terminated or still going on, the system will wait in a while loop until all executor has finished pairing all the edges. And after that, we display the edges in this method, which is this part. And after that, this button will render our GUI to show our graph line, to show the coordinates that the threads have made, as we can see here. We made a graph class using JComponent to draw the line based on the coordinates. So how it works is, I press the button, we made a JFrame class to make a GUI, and for each edges that it has, it will draw a line for each edges. And then we made a container class and put the graph in the container class so that it will be visible in the GUI, as we can see here. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is actually a different color. This is green, this is blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges that are visualized here. And yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it for our system. Thank you, doctor.
So for this, my name is Muhammad Taki Demishkodi, matric number 17121513. So for my responsibility is to become a team leader. So I've been planning and about the responsibility of my group mate. And my second responsibility is to design the flow of the system and how the multi-threading work on the programs and how the GUI will work with the multi-threading on the program. So the work done that I've been working on the program is the development of the program. I've been started with development using the Java concurrency, and I have been involving with code debugging, which when the error is found, so we have to fix it. So that's my work done. And lastly is the documentation on the wiki pages on the GitHub. So last one is the lesson learned about this group assignment is I think we have to research more on the concurrent concept, because at the beginning we stuck about how to implement the multi-threading, which is the concurrent programming on the program. So that's all. Thank you.
Hello doctor, I'm Enrico. So in this project, my responsibility is code development with my friend Taki, as well as testing and debugging during the development, and also documenting my part in the wiki. So the lesson I've learned here is multi-threading is very useful in outsourcing workload, which what I mean is it's very useful in make use of your computer's available resource to further increase the performance of your developed system. And second thing is it can also it's quite difficult to implement as in it is an advanced a more advanced technique of programming. So during my development I stumbled a lot of errors and some not quietly errors, but like a bad programming structure in terms of multi-threading. So as I try to solve the problem, it's more technical and more difficult to find a solution compared to the normal programming that I have done up till now. So how to overcome this is to get myself more involved in multi-threading, as because there's still a lot of Java API and utilities that I have not yet discovered involving multi-threading. So I believe in more practice and implementing multi-threading in my future coding. It will make me more get used to in this technique of programming. For the work that I've done is as mentioned in the wiki, and also I've done everything that I've mentioned in responsibility. Thank you, doctor.
My name is Siti Faharis Peti Muhammad Musakin, and for this group assignment, my responsibility is for code debugging and testing. Other than that, I also responsible in documentation, which is the Wikipedia. So for this group assignment, I found some difficulty in first one in searching and finding about the multi-threading. And then the second one is the problem to understand what is needed for development of the assignment. So how I overcome this difficulty is the first one is asking and keep on learning about the multi-threading concept. And then the second one is I try to discuss among my team member and keep on searching anything that related to the multi-threading. So overall, after finishing this assignment, I have some knowledge about the market trading, which is before this I'm not quite sure what is the market trading and concurrent. So this assignment helps me to understand more and hope I will and I can apply my knowledge in this market trading in my future work. Okay, thank you.
So, how to overcome difficulties that we've gotten from the assignments? We do a lot of research in Google, which is I found a lot about multi trading, as well and how to debug a program, a code. The second one is we have like a discussion Q&A session between our team members, and those with knowledge will explain everything to us, which is a very good sharing, I suppose. And then the third one is like I go through videos about explaining how multi-threading works. Rather than the first one is just a read and then research. But now we have some explanation by a real person, which is helped me a lot on knowing how market trading works in the existing codes from to be amend from the existing codes. So my responsibility is doing some testing for the end code as well as debugging the code that been settled by our friends, and as well as my code when we combine together. And then the second one is responsibility in updating the wiki from the start until week 14. And then I become one of the user for the program, and then give a comment how it should works, and which is it's help other friends, other members to modify some of the codes, some of the multi-threading codes. A reflection for this assignment, which I get to know more about the programming language. Usually we're not using a concurrent one, we're just using like parallel coding codes, and this time around we learn how to do the concurrent programming, which is multi-threading. Second one, I know what is multi-threading all about by have some contribution for the codes a little bit, along with my friends. Our team member like explained a lot and even asked me to join for the debugging process. I did the debugging process and then I test the program. It was really good, and having a group mate that know more than me is quite good, and I really enjoy doing this assignment with them.